Hi guys, my name is Charlie and welcome to my channel. If you have not done so, please make sure that you like and subscribe and also share. You can subscribe by hitting that button below. So let's get started. As you guys can see, I do kind of have on my pajamas. Actually, this is not pajamas. It's a shirt. It's a pajama shirt that I actually wore out, but whatever. It's pajamas. It's nighttime here in Miami. So let me start out by saying Happy New Year. We are now in 2020, and for those of you that do not have a 700 credit score, now is the time to get your credit in order. So for this video, we'll be talking about how to get yourself in the 700 club in 2020 and things you need to be doing. We are in a new decade, baby. So if 2010 you couldn't get it right, now is the time to get there. So with that being said, let's get started. So first thing you need to do is make sure that you're pulling your credit report. If you don't know what your credit score is, how can you know how you're going to fix it? So the first things first, I want to challenge you to make sure that you go and pull your credit report. You are entitled to a free credit report with freeannualcreditreport.com. However, you're not going to be able to get the score if you go through them. The 3 credit bureaus will give you Each bureau will give you a free credit report. You are entitled to that annually by law. You can get 1 free report per bureau. That's Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax, but you will not get the scores. One of the sites that I always use for scores would be Experian.com. I sometimes use Credit Karma, even though that's the FACO score, it's not the FICO score. But Vantage is starting to make a little noise now in the whole credit world. Some banks and some creditors are starting to use your Vantage score. So I would not put them to sleep, right? I wouldn't put them to sleep because they are starting to make a little noise because, as you guys know, FICO has been monopolizing the credit industry when it comes to creditors running your credit and you getting approved for things. But that is starting to change a little bit. So make sure that you're pulling your credit. So if you can't afford to do it through Experian, which Experian will give you a free trial for 7 days. However, if that's only for the Experian report. If you want all 3 reports, I think the cost is like $29.99, and you can know exactly what your scores are. If you can't afford to pay it, there are so many other platforms out there that you can get your credit through: Credit Karma, creditreport.com, Wallet Hub, the list goes on. So just do your due diligence. First things first is make sure that you are pulling your credit report. Second thing, once you pull the credit report, you need to go through that report with a fine-tooth comb. Look at your payment history. That's the first thing. You need to challenge yourself in 2020 that you will not be making any late payments on any bills that are related to your credit moving forward. That means no late payments on car notes, no late payments on any loans that are being reported. Actually, no late payments on no bills, but definitely the ones that's being reported on your credit report. No late payments on any loans. That means student loans. If you need to defer it, contact them, Sally Mae, whoever, and tell them, listen, y'all, I need to defer my payments. No late payments on what else? With your real estate, your mortgage, anything that's reporting to your credit. You don't want to pay anything late. When I say late, that means nothing after 30 days. Now, if you're going to pay them 10 days late, that's fine because it's not going to affect your report. But once you hit that 30-day and beyond, that's when you're going to run into problems. So the first thing is we're not going to make any late payments because late payments count for 35% of your score. 35%, that's almost close to half. So we want to make sure that we're staying on top of our payments. Second thing, utilization. If you have any cards that's maxed out, you need to chop those balances down to at least 29% of whatever the available credit is. So let's say if you have a $10,000 card, I know I say 30%, but I want to change it to 29%. So just in case you find yourself in some trouble, you won't go over that edge and end up going at 32%. Because anytime you reach over that 30% mark on your available credit, the score automatically goes down. So keep that in mind. So the second thing is we want to make sure that we're looking at our balances on our credit cards and start chopping those balances down. Okay, so number 3. Third thing that we want to do is if we are applying for a lot of different things, we want to calm down on applying for too many credit cards, too many loans. Now, first of all, if you're already in the 500s and the 600s, well, 500s, I'm not going to talk about 600s because you can't get approved within 600s. But if you're in the 5s, don't be out here applying for nothing because anything you apply for, they're going to hit you over the head with interest rates. First of all, let's be honest. Second of all, if you do get it, the terms gonna be so terrible. Why are you even wasting your time? Stop wasting your time. Stop wasting the bank's time. So if you do not have the scores that you need to have, don't even play around. Don't even play the game. Just wait. Get yourself, they call it, put yourself in the garden. Work on your credit. Get you a professional to fix it or fix it yourself, and then you can go ahead and apply for what you need to apply for. So remember, inquiries stay on your report for at least 24 months. Now, inquiries can be removed from a credit report, those that are unauthorized. However, why just keep applying for stuff knowing that you're not going to get approved? Don't even waste your time. Just wait till you get where you need to be. All right. And the fourth thing I would say is that if we're going to piggyback on to the whole, if your balances are too high, something that you can do is you can be added as an authorized user on a trade line to help bring down your overall utilization on your credit card balances. And you want to make sure that that trade line that you're being added as an authorized user to is a seasoned trade line, because not only does the limit help, also the age of the line helps, because 15% of your credit your credit score is based on credit age. So it will behoove you to get added as an authorized user to a seasoned high limit trade line. You can either purchase one, my company sells them, or if you know a relative or someone that can give you access to one of their high limit credit cards that has some years on it, no late payments, less than 15% utilization on the card, be added as an authorized user, and that way you can get yourself some more credit age, bring down your overall credit balances, your utilization, and increase your available credit limit. I don't know if you guys know, but credit cards hold a lot of weight on a credit report. More so than real estate, more so than a car loan. I know the myth everybody thinks is, I go buy me a car, it's going to help my credit, or I go get an apartment, it's going to get my credit. No, credit cards hold a lot of weight on a credit card. The way that banks are able to determine your payment history and your utilization is usually the credit card. Now, payment history, they can look at other they can look at other they can look at your other accounts too. But when it comes to utilization can only be looked at by looking at your revolving lines of credit, like revolving items that are on the report. And things that are revolving would be lines of credit, i.e. credit cards or a line of credit that you would have from a bank. So that's how they're able to determine your utilization. If that's 30% of the score, you take payment history, utilization, that's 65% of your score before we even jumped into anything else. That's a lot of weight. So credit cards hold a lot of weight on a credit report. I know people may say it doesn't. It's a lie. I'm telling you that it is. So with that being said, you may want to add yourself as an authorized user on somebody's card so that you can decrease your overall utilization, increase your available credit, and also give you an opportunity to increase your credit age as well. Now, with that being said, you also want to go and look at your credit report with a fine-tooth comb and see if there's any inaccurate information on the report so that you can dispute those items. Inaccurate could be anything as far as an address, an old account that's over 7 years old, an old inquiry that needs to fall off. So you need to also be looking at those things to see, is there anything on this report that does not belong here, so you can get yourself some traction, and maybe an old collection. If you do have collections, maybe you can contact I'm not going to say contact the creditors, but if you do decide you want to contact the collection agencies, see if you can do a pay for deletion, because it does not help to have a collection on your report. Collections and late payments can lower your score by 100 points easily. I see it all the time with my clients. They have a 650 credit score, one collection, now we in the 500s. So you don't want to get collections. Collections get posted on the report. It becomes a collection after 180 days. So 30 days, child, they sending you the letters. You got the late payment. 60 days, the letters and the phone calls. 90 days, the phone calls. Now, 180 days, they write it off. Now it becomes a collection. They sell it to a third party, and you are now responsible for it. Y'all gotta please excuse the people in the background that's talking while I'm trying to do my video. They are so rude. They know I'm filming, but it's okay. So anyways, with that being said, so you don't want to have any collections. If you see an account that looks like it's going into a collection, because late payments are very difficult to get off a report. They can come off, but they're a little difficult. But if you see that you're 30, 60 days on a late payment and you haven't been late that many times, why don't you call up the creditor and say, hey, I want to work out a payment arrangement. it's better to call them and work out an arrangement prior to just letting that letting that item just go straight to your report as a collection, because collections are very damaging to your credit. Very much so. Like, you can easily lose a lot of points. So I hope that those tips will help you guys get yourself on the right track going into 2020. Well, we already in 2020. We ain't even going into it no more. In 2020, get yourself on track and start making sure that you're being very diligent when it comes to your credit, paying your things on time. Utilization counts for 30%, as I stated. Late payments and payment history is 35%. Make sure that guys are taking advantage of using trade lines. Trade lines is a good way to boost your credit score. It's an instantaneous boost where you're not really doing much. And if you don't want to buy a high limit trade line, which those have a little bit more traction, you may want to use companies like My Jewelers Club, Hutton Chase, was another one, New Coast Direct. You also have, it's so many out there. You have Self Lender. I will put a couple of those links in the bottom of the bottom of the bio area on the video. And yes, I do get paid a small little commission from some of these companies. So hey, that is business, baby. That's what we do out here. So if you guys have any questions regarding credit, and you're in the Miami area, you can come and see me at the Capital One Cafe. I do a monthly credit seminar with them called Intro to Credit, What's in Your Credit Score. Or you can send me a DM, email, whatever the case may be. But please make sure you stay on top of your credit. We are in 2020. For those of you that are over 30 years old, no more excuses. Let's get this credit where it needs to be. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.